The world has never been easier to reach. You can book a flight to almost anywhere in minutes. But in 2026, some of those places could get you killed. Wars, cartels, militias, cities where the map no longer guarantees safety. Today, we're counting down the 5 most dangerous travel destinations on Earth right now, and for each one, a safer, stunning alternative that most travelers have never even heard of. Because the world is still beautiful. You just have to know where to look. Sudan, a country once known for ancient pyramids and some of Africa's most overlooked archaeological treasures. Today, it is a war zone. Since 2023, rival military factions have been locked in a brutal struggle that has ripped the country apart. Khartoum, once a functioning capital, is now one of the most dangerous urban environments on the planet. The UN has described the crisis as one of the worst humanitarian disasters in the world. Millions have been displaced. Hospitals are barely functioning. Aid workers operate under constant threat. For travelers, the reality is simple. There is no version of this trip that makes sense. Multiple governments have issued their highest level warnings. There is no reliable support, no stable infrastructure, and no safe margin for error. Sudan is off limits. For now, it has to be. Japan. If what drew you to Sudan was the pull of ancient civilization, Japan gives you that sense of depth without the danger. And in 2026, it feels more rewarding than ever. Japan remains one of the safest countries on Earth. Crime is low, public space is orderly, and the basic experience of moving through the country feels calm from the moment you arrive. The weak yen also makes it a smarter trip than many people expect. In cities like Osaka, you can eat extremely well without draining your budget. And beyond the food, Japan's range is what makes it unforgettable. Temples minutes from neon districts, forest trails near high-speed rail, and ryokan inns where hot springs and traditional multi-course dinners feel almost cinematic. Japan is not a hidden gem. It's something rarer, a world-class destination that still manages to exceed expectations. Myanmar. Myanmar was once one of Southeast Asia's great travel dreams. Bagan's temple plains, floating villages on Inle Lake, monks crossing roads at sunrise. Then came the 2021 military coup, and the country kept sliding deeper into instability. Armed conflict has spread well beyond remote areas. Landmines have been reported near former trekking routes. Foreigners have been detained without warning. And restrictions can change fast enough to trap travelers in the wrong place at the wrong time. The temples still stand, but getting to them is no longer a simple question of curiosity. Vietnam. Vietnam gives you the feeling Myanmar once promised. Layered history, dramatic landscapes, and a pace that keeps changing as you move north to south. It stretches over 1,600 kilometers, so a single trip can feel like several different journeys stitched together. In the north, there are misty rice terraces and the limestone islands of Ha Long Bay. In the center, Hoi An glows at night like a lantern-lit memory. In the south, the Mekong Delta moves by water, market and tide. Then there's the food, pho before sunrise, banh mi from a street cart, fresh herbs, broths, noodles, seafood and riverside meals that somehow stay affordable no matter where you are. Vietnam is energetic, welcoming, and consistently one of the safest travel choices in the region. The chaos is real, but it's the lively kind. Haiti, the first free black republic in the world, with a history as rich as it is overlooked. And right now, a country in deep crisis. Gang networks control large parts of Port-au-Prince. Kidnapping, carjacking, armed robbery, and unpredictable violence are part of daily life. The government has limited control, international flights are restricted, and many foreign missions have scaled back or closed operations. This is not a place for casual travel. Even seasoned aid workers and journalists move with strict security measures. For everyone else, the risk is far too high. Portugal. This country proves that you don't need chaos for character. It's rich in history, alive with warmth, and disarmingly beautiful. Lisbon feels lived in rather than staged. In Alfama, tiled facades, laundry lines, and fado music spill out into narrow streets that seem to hold centuries at once. Porto, farther north, might be even more striking. Riverfront views, wine cellars carved into the cliffs, and blue-tiled churches that catch the light at sunset. Then come the side trips. Sintra's palaces hidden in forest mist, the Atlantic cliffs of the Algarve, and the quieter inland landscapes that most visitors never reach. Portugal is safe, affordable, easy to explore, and still deeply human in a way many European capitals are not. It has character without needing conflict to create it. Venezuela. This country was once the richest country in Latin America. Now it's a place defined by collapse. Hyperinflation, crime, shortages, and unstable governance have turned everyday life into a constant negotiation. Caracas remains one of the most dangerous cities in the hemisphere, with robbery, kidnapping, and carjacking all serious risks. There are still extraordinary places here, Angel Falls, the Orinoco Delta, but the journey itself can be the danger. What makes Venezuela especially hard to visit is that the beauty is still real. It's everything around it that has become uncertain. Albania. This country gives you the kind of wild, high-contrast scenery that makes travel feel alive again, and it does it safely. The Albanian Riviera has clear water, pine-covered cliffs, and fishing villages that still feel personal instead of packaged. Inland, Berat glows white on the hillside at dusk, while Valbona delivers mountain drama that rivals far more expensive parts of Europe. Tirana adds a different energy altogether, colorful, youthful, and full of cafes, street art, and late-night life. Albania is still affordable, visa-friendly for many travelers, and not yet overwhelmed by mass tourism. It feels like a place that is only just beginning to be discovered. Mexico is one of the great travel countries on earth. The beaches, the food, the culture, all undeniable. But in 2026, several states remain under a serious risk umbrella. Sinaloa, Guerrero, Colima, Michoacán, Tamaulipas, and Zacatecas are all under Level 4 Do Not Travel warnings from the US State Department. In Guerrero, which includes Acapulco, violence remains especially severe, and the state has long been among the most dangerous in the region. This is what makes Mexico hard to summarize. Resort areas can feel calm and insulated, while the danger rises sharply once you move inland or off the main tourist corridor. Mexico is not a country to dismiss. It is a country to understand very precisely. Georgia delivers what the best of Mexico promises: wild landscapes, deep culture, and endless hospitality, and it does it with a fraction of the risk. Tbilisi is one of the most visually distinctive cities in Europe, with carved balconies, sulfur baths, narrow lanes, and Orthodox churches rising over the river gorge. Then there's the north, where the Caucasus Mountains around Kazbegi create some of the most dramatic scenery on the continent. Georgia's cultural warmth is one of its defining traits. Wine has been made here for thousands of years, and hospitality is treated almost like a sacred duty. For many visitors, that's the memory that lasts longest. Not just the views, but the way people receive you. Georgia is safe, affordable, and visa-friendly for many nationalities. It feels open in a way the world rarely does right now. The world hasn't stopped being beautiful, it's just rearranged itself. Wars end, regimes fall, countries close and open again. And when they do, we'll be the first ones to tell you. Until then, Japan is waiting, Vietnam is waiting, Portugal, Albania, Georgia, all of them are waiting, with fewer crowds and more wonder than you expect. The compass still points somewhere worth going. It's just pointing differently. If this helped you, subscribe to Hidden Compass and drop a comment. Which of these alternatives is going on your list?